diploma. Endicott Proud has a program to help these individuals study for this, although I'm not sure where we're in with that project right now because of COVID. And that's all my announcements so far. So now we will have committee reports. So Eileen, would you like to start?
I haven't been anywhere because of COVID. I have nothing to say.
Especially now that we can't do the arch.
Yeah, especially now that we can't do the arch.
Okay, how about you, Pat?
Well, you just said something about not doing any campaigning, but I just wanted to make a comment about some.
Can't hear you, Pat.
Can you hear me now, Ted?
It's a little bit better.
All right, we talked about campaigning or shouldn't have any campaigning during these meetings. I've talked to a few department heads this week, and there's a nasty rumor going around being spread by somebody.
Yeah, I think we need to get a microphone to Pat somehow. I don't think anybody can hear.
You want to sit up there?
Yeah, you could take Cheryl's spot. Maybe that would help.
Pat, is your mic on?
That one won't catch.
Yeah.
Yeah, those won't catch. Only
Okay.
these.
Okay.
You sure?
Yeah. Only those.
Don't trip.
How about now?
That's better. Yeah, that's still better.
Okay. Okay, not the campaign here, but I've talked to a few department heads this week, and there's a nasty rumor going around that my plan for the village is to dissolve the village and dissolve the fire department and police department, which is totally untrue. Some of the prominent department heads, I was hoping they were going to say no, that rumor wasn't going around, but they told me it is. I just want to make it perfectly clear that whoever's doing it, I wish they would stop. That's totally against my philosophy for this village. And if it continues, well, if it does continue, that's fine, but I'm going to be meeting separately with everybody once again to dispel that lie. So I just thought I'd get that out in the open, and that's all I've got for my report.
All right. Cheryl, how about you?
Okay. We went to a towns and villages meeting. We had a presentation regarding the recycling and recycling cost and the expansion of the everybody knows it as the bottle bill, but it's the Container Act. Deb Smith from Broome County Wastewater did the presentation. She did a great job and talked about other programs that she's putting in place to save on the recycling. One of them is also for cardboard, and some more. She's instituting some more regulations that and laws that will be taking place regarding that as well. I did meet and discuss the glass recycling with oops, where's my paperwork? Andela company. What they do is they make the glass recycling machinery. I spoke with the president, and she's going to help us and get together and with other players and get a business plan put together. We're just right now. We've just got to try to. Unfortunately, with this COVID hit, it put a kink in trying to set up a meeting, because we'll have to get a meeting with Joe Moody as well. We'll be on board with that. But hopefully we can get that together with this meeting, because we've got people that are part of up in Horseheads and that as well. We'll see if we can even try to do it maybe on Zoom. But that's right there, still planning that. Let's see, on the agenda, we've got a couple of things coming up on the agenda that we worked on. The tobacco law. In the first step coming up on the agenda, we have the small wireless design standards that we have coming up. That ties in with us meeting with AT&T and Verizon regarding putting some small cell boosters onto our light poles for the village to give us a cell boost. And that will work out contracts with each individual company when it comes to the time to do that. But we needed to put this in place before we can actually sit down and do contracts with the company. I think that's about it. Just meetings, tons of webinars. Been doing a lot of webinars. I got another one coming up next Thursday on the solar panels. We're working on that and finding out that there's a lot of grants and programs out there to help pay for this as incentives for that as well. So just working on that and just doing a lot of webinars to learn more about all this stuff. And plus we all took, I know Nick was on that webinar too from NYSERDA. We've got a series of those coming up as well. I think that's about it. Just been very busy.
Okay, thank you. Ted?
Yeah, I had a couple of questions too to start with. The Towns and Villages meeting, where did they have that this month?
At
Yes,
the
it was.
visitor center.
Yep, it was all sent out to everybody.
Yeah, I was wondering where they had it though.
Oh, the visitor center.
And then how many people were at it about?
14.
Okay. And then on Linda, you talked about the community center. Or is that the thing that's at the Boys Club now?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And then the third question I had on this bottle or glass recycling company, is there actually a real company involved, or is this just an idea to try to get something organized where we can then go look for one?
But no, what it is you put a business plan together, and what this Andela company is the president. I got in contact with her. Deb Smith gave me in contact with her, and they actually make and manufacture the glass recycling machinery that they need. If you want, I can send you the information she sent me on her company. But then what you need to do is we would need to get together and put a business plan together and put bids in for companies to come.
So there's no actual glass recycling company that we've talked to or that has talked to us yet. This is just an idea to put a plan together to try to attract one.
Correct.
Okay. And then the last one, the solar panels you were talking about, that's the same thing. We're trying to come up with a plan of how to do that and maybe attract some solar panel companies, or we would maybe get a grant and do it ourselves.
Phil also has been in contact with a company. We've actually, a couple of companies have contacted him that would like to come in. Remember, he came.
We lost you, Cheryl.
Came to the board about this one company last year, and they wanted exclusive rights, and we can't do that as a municipality because we would have to go out to bid. But there's others, and we voted last meeting to have him go out and explore other companies and discuss
And the location where we would have them, has that been talked about yet?
Yes, it's down at the wastewater treatment plant, that area. We've already got approval from the DEC.
Okay.
And I sent out over a month ago to set up a committee, and the only one that responded was Eileen.
Okay. So the report I had was on this committee that we have I think it's around $6.5 million to spend on Washington Avenue to spend. This is money that we won in a contest, statewide contest about 5 years ago. That's how long it takes to get these things going. But the first step is to get an architect to come up with a design of all the various pieces of the puzzle. The money would go towards all 3 blocks of Washington Avenue to rehab the whole looks of the avenue, and also the 1 parking lot behind M&T Bank, and the full alley along that alley there, the whole length of the 3 blocks of. Is it the whole length for the alley, Anthony?
Yeah, on that,
Okay.
like you said, on that block.
Yeah, but the alley would be the whole three blocks of the whole length of the avenue.
The alley is just a section of the parking lot that, like.
Okay, so it'd be the alley and the parking lot behind the M&T, that whole block from Monroe to North Street. So the village put out an not an RFP, but an RFQ, request for qualifications, and we got 14 applications for that to be the architect, and we had a committee that looked through all 14 applications and boiled that down to 5 companies, and we're supposed to interview them Thursday and Friday, but I'm not sure what Linda was talking about there, but it sounds like there might be some problem meeting with them Thursday or Friday. But anyway, that's the plan, to meet with them, interview them, and then pick one company to be the architect. And that's the only report I have.
Okay, thank you. Bob, do you have anything you'd like to talk about?
No, everything's reflected elsewhere on the agenda, so I can get to it as it comes up.
Oh, okay. All right, how about you, Anthony?
Yeah, as mentioned about the RFQ there for the Binghamton Fund projects. Just wanted to mention quick, for the Main Street grant that we got, and we hired a Toma consulting firm to administer that grant for us. They're planning on doing a Zoom meeting for those in the target area. So that's the Washington Ave block from North Street to Monroe. That's the target area for the Main Street grant. So they're putting together a Zoom meeting for that group on Wednesday, October 14th at 5 p.m. So they're going to post it. We'll post it on our website and Facebook page. The Zoom information and a little bit more as we get closer to that. So just wanted to have everyone kind of on the lookout for that. That'll be coming up soon.
All right, thank you.
That's a question.
Oh, I'm sorry, sure.
I've got a question for Anthony. What's the concept for that alleyway? Do you know what they want to, because there's a one-way street there. What's the proposed plan to fix that up?
I think the idea is to make it more inviting. So, there's a couple options. You can, mainly it's the avenue side is where a lot of the foot traffic is. So they want to make the alleyway more inviting so that whether we have, so at points you can close off the avenue maybe for an event and still have the nice access to the rear of the building. And then they've also talked about doing I know some communities do like an alley days where they actually block off the alley and have an event, in the parking lot alley, and then, have the businesses open that way. So there's a couple ideas that are floating around for the, the meaning behind doing the alley and parking lot improvements.
Okay.
Yeah, Pat, you go to a lot of towns and the alleys behind the stores are just as inviting as the fronts of the stores, the street out front.
Right. Okay, now we don't have any public hearings, but we do have, we have to set up a couple calls for public hearings. The first one is to add something to our recycling law.
Make a motion on that.
It would be great, yeah.
Make a motion for the local law about recycling special permit use.
Okay.
For public hearing.
To hold a public hearing.
Right, so is the motion to schedule the public
Yes.
hearing for the October, I think, 19th meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
One thing on that is if we don't have the 239 review back yet, then we're gonna have to postpone that public hearing and do it in November. I guess we'll see as it gets closer, but I received an email today from the county saying that they put a hold on the 239
Mhm.
review.
Mhm.
So I think that interacts with the scheduling of the public hearing. So, you know, it's something we ought to probably discuss.
I would kind of prefer if we would table this until we could add a few more restrictions. With Cheryl going through this glass business and talking to the state of New York, we want to add some restrictions. We don't know what we're getting into with the glass business.
Mhm.
And we want to make sure that we're not going to make mistakes. And I'm trying not to rush. I rushed before, and I don't want to make the same mistakes again, rushing again. So I'd like to add a few more restrictions. And we probably have a couple we still want to add from the last time we made this law. Just a thought.
What kind of restrictions are we looking at?
Well, for one thing, don't you think we should add something about no burning? I mean, these people have been worried about this. There's not going to be any burning with the companies we've got now, but we don't want that. I mean, I'm glad we have only one item that can be recycled. That's a good thing. But I don't know what other companies are out there, what garbage companies are out there. I don't know, and so I would like to investigate that. I can't see where it's going to hurt, and I would like to investigate a lot more with the glass recycling. Because
Well, we don't want
know
garbage
what we're
companies.
doing.
That's why we made it a single item.
Right.
That's why it's
But-
one single stream. The only thing,
Yep.
that the other thing I need to find out also is what we had talked about with the glass company is that, which I need to get with some more meetings, but we're trying to get all the players together to hold this meeting so we can get more information, because some of the people that need to be involved, she had named 3 other companies. One was in Horseheads, to get together to talk. So what we're trying to do is get, the only other thing now that we could do is, because of the outbreak again, is possibly do a Zoom meeting, but we're trying to get that set up. One of the concerns we have, I did see a couple of pictures from online about the machinery. It's these huge, big steel things, and they do have these bag houses that are attached and everything to them. But now that talking with her, there's different types of ground glass. Some are fine powder, some are more coarse. It depends on what the glass is going to be used for and its reuse. So that's stuff that we're finding out and talking with Cindy about that. But I don't know what some of the restrictions are. I will be getting with them as well, but that's why she said we need to get all these players together to discuss all of this, because there may become a time that we might have to put some other type of restriction in there, because maybe it might be that we don't want the really fine glass here, because when it gets that fine, that's when you don't want to be breathing that type of fine glass in, because that's not good for your lungs. Maybe something like that. So we don't, like you said, we don't know enough. We're just, getting more information now. So there might be something like that we want to put in there.
I would say that with the various laws we've passed this year so far, we've seen that we can get a new law, new restrictions passed within probably 3-4 weeks. And this new idea about glass recycling seems like there's a lot of work to do, and possibly even when we get find out, first we got to find the information, then we have to come up with a plan, and then we have to attract a company that does that. So there's an awful lot of time where we can, once we find out what restrictions we would want, there's a lot of time where we could add those into the law wherever it would fit. But to go, I don't know if this has some follow-up to the recycling law, then we should probably go ahead and do this first, and then if whatever restrictions you come up with, Cheryl, on your meetings, I'm sure we can get those discussed and passed pretty quick if we needed to do it. I don't think we'd ever even need to do it fast, but if we needed to do it fast, I'm sure we can do it.
Well, we still have to go through the same processes with the 239 review and all of that. I understand that too. So that hopefully that doesn't take too long, because that's kind of out of our hands. That's up to the county.
Yeah, that takes about a month to do those various things. In fact, I think, yeah, it takes anywhere from 3 to 5 weeks because of these other laws we did.
The law that's been presented would put restrictions on the use, including a prohibition on creating a hazard to health or safety. And that's the purpose of this law, changing the permitted use to a special permit use. It automatically triggers the conditions of a special permit. So our law already builds in restrictions to create those kinds of controls. So I guess you've got two options. You can either move forward with the law as it's written in a manner that would get it on the books as quick as possible, or you could wait and see if we could develop some restrictions that are tailored to recycling, I guess. And that's, I would ballpark that about 3 or 4 months if we could get it done, by the end of the year. I think it would be, ambitious to get it done by the end of the year. So it's a question of whether you want to move this through in order to, the whole point of moving it through quicker is to cover up the gap that we're in right now, right? So I discussed a lot last time about the exposure that we have right now, because a company could come in and gain grandfathered or vested rights. So if you want to close that gap, then you can move forward with the law that's been presented right now, get that on the books as quick as possible, and then work on additional regulations as you move forward.
This comments about trash incinerators keeps coming up. Can't you just put a sentence at the end of this updated laws and just saying there's no trash incinerators allowed, and make that very simple?
That'd be a good
Is there
idea.
that worry?
Well,
Or not?
I mean, we've already seen the complication with the word incinerator, right? DEC interprets it one way, EPA interprets it a different way. It's something that it's not as easy as just saying there are no incinerators. I mean, we could put it in there. The enforceability of it is, I think, it is going to be an open issue. I'd have to draft that up, and we'd have to kick off this process again and start the 239 again. So I could tee that up if you wanted me to for the next meeting.
But I think we kind of ruled out trash by making it a single stream, because trash is not a single stream.
Well, that's true.
Right. The benefit of going with the special permit process is that it has broad prohibitions on hazards to human health, and it leaves it in the planning board's hands to determine whether or not a particular use is a hazard or is not. And that decision by the planning board is not one that can be made either on a whim or because they're pressured to do so by a particular person or group. It has to be based on factual evidence. So it puts it in an administrative process to be handled by the planning board. And I think that's kind of how our whole zoning code is pretty much set up.
Well, there's a motion on the table, right?
There's a motion on the table to table it, Linda.
Well, do you want, what do you want to do? If, whatever you guys want to do, do it. I would like to hold off, but if you guys would like to pass this and then we'll work on a second one, it's whatever you guys want to do.
I think we got to get our ducks in the row. So I'll table it.
Okay, well then I'm going to need a second to table.
I think that's or the Sun Geo issue has went on and on so long. It'd be nice to see some movement, some quicker movement on various things. And like I said, with whatever you guys come up with on this glass company, we can add those in later at whatever you see that might be needed. But it'd be nice to move this thing forward and get this, at least get one issue completely 100% behind us.
Well,
we'd see value in plugging the gap that we're in right now. if you see that as a problem or not. If you think that's a problem, what we're in right now, then the thing to do would be to move forward with this law to convert it to a special permit. That would give you, that would erase any potential for a grandfathering issue, as long as we can get it approved on time. If you don't see that as a problem, then we can hold off and, you know, go back to the drawing board on changes to the law.
We were supposed to be doing changes for the law when we passed this on May 7th, and they never got done. But I think now maybe people are more aware, and we can get more changes a little bit quicker. Maybe now we can get everybody together to make a few more restrictions and changes and add them to it. Because before, everybody was just kind of, I don't know, leaving it up in the air. And that's why it took so long.
I think that's what a lot of people were asking for too, so that could, like you say, it could bring a lot of these different opinions more together than being butting heads with each other.
Right, we could ask more people to tell us, what would you like in a law? Give us an idea.
So I made the motion to table it. Do I have a second?
You have to withdraw the first motion?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, it was the first motion.
Yeah, right. The first motion was to schedule the public hearing.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you want to table the public hearing, and I would say table the 239 if that's what you're looking to do.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, well,
So I mean, you have to withdraw the motion first, correct?
first,
Before you table it?
I think she just did. Is that what you did?
Correct.
So you're withdrawing them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd just like to make another comment. I'm beating a dead horse, but Bob, do you see obviously you see a concern here about grandfathering in companies that could sneak in. And I would strongly recommend we follow our attorney's lead. Just a point. We can always tweak with additions or restrictions down the stream, but this would give a closed gapping or whatever you want to call it at this present time. Just a thought.
Yeah, I mean, this is the conservative approach. It's a little more risky to not do anything because it leaves that period of time when we're exposed, it leaves it open longer.
I just
haven't seen any new business in here in decades.
yeah, we're lucky we're getting anything.
I'm not really concerned about that window that you're speaking about, so.
Well, I can second it, but I don't know what Cheryl's going to say, if she wants to vote or not, because we're going to need 3 votes. But I'll second it, but I don't know how she feels.
Yeah.
Haven't asked her.
Actually, we gotta get our act together.
Yes. So we're going to need to do a
Gonna do a vote or not?
vote on it.
And
Yeah.
Anthony, can you explain what we did here? No, the first motion was for what?
So Eileen made a motion, Trustee Connectney made a motion to schedule a public hearing at the next board meeting on the local law making recycling facilities a special permitted use.
Well, she tabled it. We're not going. You didn't put a time limit on when you were going to table it.
No.
Not for the next board meeting. If we were going to hold it over, it would be the next board meeting. Tabling it means we're going to get our ducks in a row,
Right.
then we'll do it. It might be.
Let's go back to the first one. Arlene made a motion to, Eileen made a motion to
Right.
pass it. Is that right?
That was the original motion, and then Trustee Connectney.
And nobody seconded it?
Withdrew that motion. No, there was no second on that.
And then Eileen withdrew it?
Withdrawn. And now we have a motion to table.
And that's by
Eileen.
To table it. And Linda seconded it.
Correct. And that's where we're at right now.
But like I say, I don't know. I'll just wait and see what happens.
I don't know, I'd like to see us, I think we really need to start following suggestions and advice from the lawyer. We went against it several times in the past few months, and it's creating a poor pattern, I think.
We have.
All right, what
Another
about if I, get with, try to get with them, this week? And see,
That sounds good.
and see if there's any concerns that we need to be worried about that we might need to add.
I think that's
I would
probably
say
good.
that's, are you talking about the glass, the bottle, or the glass recycling company?
Well, that might be that one, yeah, that one too, and maybe if we can come up with a couple more, maybe, or something to do with the other one too, like the mayor was saying.
I just see that we're way, way, way too far in advance of ever being able to come up with restrictions on those things till we really find out a lot about it. Maybe even bring them in for an interview, and at the point we even find a company, if we can find one.
Well, I think that we have to put the restrictions in now before we go and try to find a company.
No, as long as you have them in before the company comes here.
What if no
I
company?
mean, I don't know how, I don't have the slightest clue how we would,
Don't worry about
how
it.
I would come up with any idea of what kind of restriction.
It's sitting in limbo.
You mean the law that's already been adopted?
Yeah. Sounds like we're doing a lot of stuff for this glass issue that could be a dream from all we're concerned.
Yeah, it's fictional at this point.
So that could take, like you say, 4 or 5 months, and
Right.
our law that we're proposing is.
A lot of things
around.
involved in this, though,
Yeah.
all the way to the New York State. I mean, this is a big deal.
Right.
We're gonna be the first in New York State to do the bottle law, and that's connected with this. And we've got a lot of big people involved helping us, so,
And-
you know, at least we've gotta do something, because our recycling costs are killing us.
Well, can we take a vote, Anthony? Because,
We'll do a roll call.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
This is on the
And then-
table, motion to
right,
table.
To table it?
yeah,
And then we'll just continue from there.
Okay, we have trustee Connectney,
yes.
trustee Dorner,
No.
trustee Warner,
What's the vote, what is the vote so far?
trustee Connectney voted yes, trustee Dorner voted no.
To win.
I would say, I think I would say no. I'd just like to see us go forward with something.
Okay. Trustee Chapman? Oh, hold on.
Wherever she went.
Thank
There
you,
you
you
go.
gotta unmute me, sorry.
Okay, what's your vote on that?
Is the vote to hold it over for right now?
Yeah,
Yeah, the
Table
motion
that
is to
table.
table.
Yes.
Okay, and Mayor Jackson?
Oh, yes. Now we have a public hearing. We're calling for, to amend the tobacco license. And this will be a public hearing on 10/19. Now, Bob, do we need a 239? We don't need a 239 for this, right?
okay.
Okay, well then we're all set. So we can schedule a public hearing for this.
And make
So
a
if you'd like
motion to
to-
schedule the public hearing for the, amendment to the tobacco law.
I'll second that.
Do a roll call.
Okay.
Just to clarify that, so that would be at the October 19th
Correct.
meeting at 7 o'clock?
Correct.
Okay, we'll do a roll call on that.
Yeah.
Trustee Connectney?
Yes.
Trustee Dorner?
Yes.
Trustee Warner?
Yes.
Trustee Chapman?
Yes,
Who was
All right, now we have-
who was the second, Anthony?
On that one?
Yeah, on the tobacco, yeah.
Tobacco second was, trustee Connectney.
Your voice cut out.
Oh, it's trustee Connectney?
Okay.
That?
Now we have the approval of minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from September 21.
Second,
Sorry to do.
Do, roll, trustee Connectney?
Yeah,
Yes.
can't,
Trustee Dorner?
Yes.
Trustee Warner?
Yes.
Trustee Chapman?
yes.
Connectney, since Cheryl's, not in the room, do you mind taking over and reading the bids for us, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
A request was made by the Village of Endicott Water Superintendent to award the low bid to Procon Construction for a new pump station and water main installation on Hayes Avenue. Bids were publicly read on September 2nd. The following bids were received. With Chase? Oh no, Procon
Okay.
won that.
And he had the lowest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So could I have a motion to accept?
I make a motion to accept the request for the Water Department Superintendent to award Procon for the new pump station and water main install.
Everybody's voice, I don't know about it, but your voice keeps cutting out every 4 or 5 words. It cuts out 2 or 3 words.
Well, I don't have a problem. I hear him okay.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a second. We have a first and a second.
So do a roll call on that.
Anthony, can you read the motion? I couldn't hear it.
Yeah, the motion was the, bid item on the agenda to, the request was from the water superintendent
For Hayes
to
Avenue.
award, to award the low bid to Procon Construction for the pump station and water main installation for Hayes Ave.
To Procom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there were 5 bids received. Procon was the low bidder on that. Did I go through roll call? I do.
I don't think so
I
on
don't
this
think
one.
so.
No?
Sorry.
We'll do roll call on that.
Yeah.
Trustee Connectney?
Yes.
Trustee Dorner? Trustee Warner?
Yes.
And Trustee Chapman?
Yes,
Now I would like a motion to accept their communications.
Make a motion to accept communications for filing A through D.
Very good.
second,
Okay,
Okay.
again,
Roll call on that. Trustee Connectney?
Yes.
Trustee Dorner?
Yes.
Trustee Warner?
Yes.
And Trustee Chapman?
yes.
now we come to our communications for action.
You want to do these separately, or
We have to do them separately, yeah. Yeah, we have to.
I'll make a motion to accept the holiday parade tree lighting on Saturday.
I'll second that. Hopefully we can have that.
Yeah, Lord willing. Don't hold your breath, though.
Do a roll call. Trustee Connectney?
Yeah.
Trustee Dorner?
Yes.
Trustee Warner?
Yes.
And Trustee Chapman?
Yes,
Okay, now the next.
I make a motion to accept the Access Health Plan renewal.
Need a second?
I'll second.
I was second,
Okay. Do a roll call. Trustee Connectney?
Yes.
Trustee Dorner?
Yes.
Trustee Warner?
Yes.
And Trustee Chapman?
yes.
Sponsor page for the parade.
So I make a motion to accept the Light Up Endicott sponsorship page for the parade on Saturday, December 5th. It's got a new vision. It's going to be cool.
Okay,
Second,
Are we donating to this?
No, it's just a donation that's going out.
Request?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
request, we're sending out the
for
request.
sponsorships.
I had a question on this one. Is there going to be, what are they going to do for that? Are they going to have the fireworks again this year? Probably not.
Yes, they are. Yeah, the fireworks are already planned.
We're going to do something. You sit in your
This
house
will be
and
the,
watch
just,
fireworks.
like a parade, like the parade we have every year.
Yeah, that's all. Not,
Yeah.
we're not going to have all the activities on the avenue, no.
Yeah,
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 if we can even have that.
and that's even gonna be in a modified.
But we're gonna try. We're gonna wait and see what the governor said. He gave us his okay so far, but we're gonna wait and see what he says come closer.
Okay. Is
I
everybody
need a
good?
second for that.
I second.
Okay. The roll call, trustee Connectney,
Yes.
trustee Dorner,
Yes.
trustee Warner,
yes.
trustee Chapman.
Yes.
Next, we have peddler's permit for the cross-country cooking. I make a motion to accept it.
Now, are there any questions? Because our fire marshal is here to answer any questions we need to ask.
Yes, I would like to have this thing explained.
Here he comes.
Now, and the
Right.
thing I'm interested in knowing is, this is in the same place where we had that other little trailer, I guess. And how is that different from this and whatever?
It is on the same lot as the previous one. The difference is this one is actually getting a peddler's license, which the other one didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got to get closer to a microphone.
It is the same lot as the previous issue. The previous trailer. The difference is this gentleman has actually gone through to request the peddler's license,
Right.
which the other one didn't have. The other difference is this is a true peddler. He's going to be bringing the trailer in the morning, setting up, working for a handful of hours on the days that he has requested, and then packing it up and leaving for the rest of the day until the next day that he's scheduled. It's not going to sit there all the time. It's not going to be a permanent fixture. He's looking to work there, I think it's like 8 days, potentially up to 8 days or something in October. See how that goes, and then readdress the issue after the first of the year for once it's nice again in the spring. His trailer is essentially brand new. I have looked at it already. I would do another inspection of it once he gets it in to give him an operating permit in compliance with the fire code, the section of the fire code that now regulates mobile food vehicles. So the previous one didn't have any of that because they didn't actually even have the peddler's license.
Are these the same people?
No.
Different person.
That was quick.
These are different people?
Totally different person, yep. And he is willing to bring it in so everybody can see it if that's the case. If you want to see it ahead of time, he's willing to do that. But like I said, I have been to his trailer to look at it to see what he was talking about prior to him putting the permit in. It is clean, it's brand new, it's up to date, state of the art.
How many days a week would they want to be there?
It should be in the packet. He had specific days listed
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that he was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
it's like 1 week and.
Yeah.
3 days a week. Separate weeks.
He was looking for how many days?
Ted, he had October 15, 16, 17, 22, 23, 24, 29, and 30th.
Nice.
Yeah, so 8 days, and he actually even said there, he may not be able to be there all those days, but those are the days, the maximum number of days he would be looking to set up.
Thank goodness he jumped.
So this is basically just a temporary type of a thing?
It's like I said, it's a peddler. He's gonna pull it in, hook to a truck in the morning, set it up, have it there for, through breakfast and lunch, I believe. And then,
It says 6 to 2.
yeah,
Nice.
do breakfast and lunch hours and then pack it up and leave. And when I talked to him, he did show some concern for the other businesses on the Ave. He doesn't want to cut into, their evening business. But he sees a possible need for it, and it's an addition to the Ave that I think is worthwhile, in my opinion. That something that I think we should be trying to get, throughout the village and other places as available. I think it's a good thing. The food truck thing is it's the most, really the hottest rage right now in a lot of cities.
Especially given the current situation, health-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Has anybody talked to other restaurants and see what they think about it?
It's my understanding the whole purpose of the peddler's license, the way it was set up, was at the request of some of the other restaurants, businesses right in the area, in the village. So it's not anybody's going to come in and throw their thing in there. That's got to be worthwhile for them because they have to pay for the days that they're there.
So Brian, is this just in October and then it's over with?
That's all he's paying for now, and then after that, he would have to reassess and put in for new days.
So this opens up a big question, though, is what if other people want to do it in other places up and down the avenue or on Main Street, or they find a property owner that says they could use their spot, their
They'd have to
parking
go through
lot?
the same process.
It's got to go through a peddler's license.
Well, I understand that, but I mean, is that something we would want to promote
I think
when we have restaurants that are barely making it?
Well, like I said, the food truck thing is the hottest thing right now, and across the country, there are cities that are actively pushing to try to get multiple food trucks in on different days to add to the possibilities for what the people in their city or village or town or whatever are exposed to.
And on the avenue, BAE has offered to let us use their lot on a Saturday to have a food truck Saturday. I've gone up and down the avenue, and all of the restaurants thought that would be great because they would be bringing people to the avenue that ordinarily would not be in the avenue to see what else is available.
And essentially, it's curbside pickup. There you go.
Which restaurants was that liked it?
Cuckoo's Nest, the Italian Pizzeria. I talked to a couple. I know Cuckoo's Nest isn't there right now, but I did talk to her, and I think they talked to a couple of others. So they thought it would be great, and some of the businesses I talked to, like Angel from Angel's Closet and like them, and they thought it would be great to bring humans to Endicott to get them on the avenue
with a different variety of food too.
True, yeah.
Yeah.
How much is he going to pay? What's the license to do this?
It pays per day.
It's what?
It's in your packet, Ted. What he has paid.
In accordance with the village peddling law, it's $25 per day because he has a vehicle.
So then, if we did vote for this, we would be voting just for these days in October, and then he would have to come. He or anybody else would have to come in again for other days after October.
Yeah, and at this point he wouldn't be looking to do anything for the rest of this year because of the weather.
Yeah.
So at least that's what he told me. Then he'd be thinking about seeing how it went and assessing the worthiness of it, and then moving into the next year and seeing what he wants to try to set up for next year.
Kind of cool. I think it's a good idea. Something new.
I think it's a good test. I'll take Linda's word for it that these several restaurants are okay with it. I think after we do this test, I'd like to actually see something, maybe some emails, something in writing from other restaurants that they do like it. It'll be a test for them too, I think.
You can get in touch with them. That's fine. I think it's good. So can we have a vote on that?
I'll make a motion to accept the cross-country cooking peddler's permit.
I have a motion from Trustee Connectney already, so I just
All right,
need
well,
a
then I'll
second.
second.
Okay. Roll call, Trustee Connectney?
Yes.
Trustee Dorner?
Yes.
Trustee Warner?
Yes.
Trustee Chapman?
Yes.
Okay.
Good job, Brian.
All
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Now we come to the Chug Trail,
Oh, this is exciting.
Eileen's baby.
Yes, this is my baby. I make a motion to approve the Chug Trail extension, which is the asphalt and the digging and excavation. Exciting.
Finally.
Going to be taken, start date of October 12th. And done by the end of the month. Oh my God.
Anthony, we still planning on having our street department to do that to save us some money from what we were given for the budget for that?
Yeah, we're gonna
The
be
grant?
doing we're gonna do the project management, the silt fence installation, off-site hauling of the excavated soil, turf and grass repair at the pavement edge. That'll be our local share of that grant. So it'll be as an in-kind service.
Did we get any response on the changes to the contract that they made?
From the consultant?
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have any
No,
issues with it or
Okay.
anything, yeah.
Awesome.
And we did get the second quote. Everything was on state county bid that we're going off of, but one of the items we had to get 2 quotes on, which was the suit coat, number 3 there, item 3. So we have 2 on that. So we're covered, procurement wise.
So this would start at Vestal Avenue and go around the,
No,
Basically go from the end of Loader,
right.
end
up
of
and
Loader.
around to the, right near the, playground
Mhm.
structure there. Kind of following the road,
To the
up
water
Loader and then down.
substation. Right.
All right.
does it connect to the current Chug nut?
No,
No,
there's not enough, funds in this grant to go all the way down to the current Chug nut.
So if they were,
The
if
grant
they
would
were,
be the connector.
it's just called a Chug Nut Trail Extension.
I understand, Eileen, I've been working on it for 7 years. So if they were on the trail, they would come down going westward towards Round Top, and they would get to Vestal Avenue, then I guess they would drive down the, whatever that is, Edward Street, I guess, and then turn left on Mercer Row, and then this project here would pick up on Loader.
Yeah, it'd be just an asphalt walking trail from right around where the playground structure is there on Mercer Row. Follow Mercer Row down Loader, and then kind of near our pumping station back there, near
Right.
the Vine Community Garden.
Right.
There'd be a connector right there. Yeah.
And it would connect up, would it go past the pumping station towards the west?
No, it wouldn't be on the river side of that. It'd be on the other side.
Yeah. Okay.
It's pretty exciting.
What's the total cost of this thing, Anthony, this section?
So it's a $100,000 project. The grant is 75, and the local in-kind is 25.
And the in-kind is our street department doing a lot of the work.
So is our full 25 with in-kind then? Pretty
Yeah.
much?
We're gonna, hopefully be able to account for all 25 with in-kind services. That's the plan.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Hmm. So do I have a second?
Yeah, I need a
I
second.
second.
So do a roll call. Trustee Connectney?
Oh, yes.
Trustee Dorner?
Yes.
Trustee Warner?
Yes.
Trustee Chapman?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, time to pay the bills.
I will make a motion to pay the bills.
Okay,
Seems kind of low this time.
you need a second? Yeah, it does.
Need it.
Second.
Roll call on the bills. Trustee Connectney?
Yes.
Trustee Dorner?
Yes.
Trustee Warner?
Yes.
And Trustee Chapman?
Yes.
Good job.
Okay. Now, we got visitors, so I'm going to let you take over, Mr. Bates,
Okay.
because you have the list. Well,
So I
not that list, but you have
We
the
have 5, right? 5 on the list?
5 on the list, yeah. Yep, I gave you all their emails.
Okay, so first I have Amanda Smith.
I don't have anything to say. Thanks, though.
No? Okay,
Right.
okay, thank you. Next I have Maria Pizzuti.
I think she's muted, maybe.
Oh, hold on.
Okay, can you hear me now?
There we go. Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Yep.
Mayor Jackson, trustees, Chapman, opportunity to say that I was disappointed that the board did not rescind the May 7th recycling law at its last meeting. As the board knows, Endicott is predominantly a community of modest households. But regardless of where we live in the village, north side, south, or west, we all depend on the board to provide, on an administrative level, protection from any entity that does not have the best interests of the community at heart. So I am asking for the board to collectively reconsider the recycling law, or to carefully evaluate its effectiveness and to make any needed adjustments so that it can adequately protect the village, the village residents. And just as importantly, I'd like to say that delay can be as detrimental as rash actions. So I ask that you carefully consider this, and I thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Okay. Forgot to mention too, we still have the 3-minute process here, 3 minutes to speak.
Thank you.
So next I have Paul Connett. Hold on here. There we go.
Okay, hello. Oh, hello. I would like to implore the village trustees to consider this amendment to the current recycling law. It would read, no process which has the potential to emit PFAS, meaning per or polyfluorinated alkyl substances, into the environment, either directly into the air or via wastewater effluent. That would protect you from the processes being used by Sunjeel. That doesn't mean that Sunjeel could not come to Endicott, because there are ways of recycling lithium-ion batteries which do not involve high temperatures. Again, there may be people that object to those recycling operations in Endicott, but that's up to the people to make their voices heard. But this wording that I've just given you would prevent the heating and burning, the heating of the lithium-ion batteries in a rotary kiln and then burning the products. You may or may not know this, but nearly all lithium-ion batteries contain these substances, and nobody, including the EPA, knows how to destroy them safely. Certainly not with incineration. The EPA does not have any regulations for air emissions when you burn PFAS. And this has been a huge problem for Hoosick Falls, as you know, with the burning of the anti-firefighting foam. And also it's been an issue for hazardous waste incinerators and trash incinerators in the United States, with specifically the waste WTI hazardous waste incinerator in East Liverpool, Ohio, is causing great concerns because they might have to burn these products from around the country. The same thing applies to trash incinerators. The incinerator in Essex County, the EPA wanted to do an experiment measuring the PFA coming out of the stack, but through local opposition, that has been canceled. So a very, very hot issue. You do not want to heat or burn PFASs. There must be better ways of recycling products than this, and that's the village can protect yourselves. We can protect ourselves from these emissions from an operation like Sunjeel by passing this amendment to the recycling law. And I hope that the trustees will do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah.
Okay.
Set my timer. Okay. Next I have Ellen Taberry.
Hi, Anthony. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Hello, Madam Mayor and Board of Trustees. Thank you for allowing me to speak this evening. I'd like to request that the board update the recycling code to prohibit high temperature processes like pyrolysis and incineration, please. And also to prohibit transportation and storage of volatile materials that are high risk for fires and explosions. High risk procedures such as moving and storing multiple tons of batteries on a daily basis in a ridiculously inadequate building 50 feet from a NYSEG substation. The risk for catastrophe is too great. The vetting of this building was too little. It's too dangerous for the location of this industrial zone in the middle of a village. My requests are for the health and safety of the lives of everyone in my family, from my aunt on Roble Ave, who is 95 years old, to my niece off of Sky Island Drive, who is 3 years old. My request is for the safety of all school children and their trusty bus drivers who travel back and forth on the school bus every morning and afternoon down Franklin Street and wind their ways through the industrial zone on other Endicott streets. Keep saying it for the children who play softball, baseball, swim in the Z pools, play on the swing sets on Northside Park. We cannot forget how close to the industrial zone on Clark Street this is to the park. We cannot forget. For the business owners in Little Italy on Washington Ave, North Street and beyond, the industrial zone was built at a time when people had to walk to work as they had no cars. George F. built EJ homes close by to make it easy for workers like my grandparents to get to work. In this 21st century, the industrial zone is in too densely populated an area to bring in polluting and dangerous processes. Business processes such as Sungeo should be somewhere far away from human beings. There's too much risk for the safety and health. Or do it for your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews, the next generations to come after us. Leave them with a thriving, positive legacy, not a disastrous, cancerous, polluted one. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ellen.
Thank you. Okay. So I have, let's see, Ellen Connor.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I and others would appreciate if the board would give the community updates on the Sungeo project at each board meeting so that we're all apprised of what's going on and are updated. Another thing, the community needs an explanation from the mayor on her comment that she made to the press of the $40,000 environmental study that Sungeo will undertake. I need a clarification. What did the mayor mean by an environmental study? Was it an environmental impact statement? And will it be discussed tonight? Bob mentioned the planning board and how they review all proposed zoning ordinances. However, the planning department didn't review Sungeo's project because they said they didn't have enough information given to them. Because of this, is the recycling law legal? And can the board simplify the issue of when the public can speak at board meetings? For example, on Friday morning, just a few days ago, I looked for the details on tonight's meeting, and no information was available at 10 a.m. Yet, residents were expected to submit a request to speak by noon. From the public's perspective, it would be good to know that one could always speak at the board meetings. And it needs to be simplified. Your process needs to be simplified. And I think it should be quite straightforward. And as to the recycling law, I agree with Maria's comments completely. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen.
Thank you.
I'm going to answer her.
Okay.
All right, thank you. So that's the end of the hearing of visitors. We don't have any laws. Come to unfinished business. We have our meeting procedures. Do we want to vote on this tonight?
I don't have any objection to voting on it.
Okay, then you can make a motion if you'd like. I rewrote it as everybody asked.
Since the last meeting, Linda, the ones that were brought up at the last meeting, I think we're in the same situation again, because you made some changes to those, I think.
Yeah, that's why I asked if you wanted to vote on it or not, because I did make changes.
And then,
That's why I asked.
in addition to that, I think Bob sent an email out where some things in there were improper and maybe illegal. And I think did you make more changes to it?
I changed absolutely everything Bob asked me. He just asked me to, he didn't tell me they were illegal, but he said it was confusing. And so I changed what was confusing. I did what he said. I keep his emails with me so that I can make sure that I made the changes.
Yeah, no, that's right. I didn't say it was illegal. There was a provision for the agenda that said that a majority of the board could add something to the agenda. And then there was another provision that said it had to be a unanimous vote to add something to the agenda. So I just wanted that to be clarified. It looks like this new version has been clarified.
Okay, so I'll second the motion.
So I think what I would do is hold this over again, since this is a whole new document and a whole new set of wording for the rules.
Well, everybody else has read it, but I take it you didn't read it yet.
No, what I'm saying is this is a whole new document from.
I'm just asking.
It's just as if there was never a document before. So, I would hold it over.
And so I would like to go on record to say that I am not the one who's holding everything up all the time. I got reprimanded a little bit for holding over the recycling. I am not the one who always holds it over. I have no problem holding it over. I'm just making it a mention that I'm not the one who does it, please. Now,
well, this is probably, just to add to that, this is probably who knows, the 8th or 10th or 11th different change in these rules. So we've never had just a kind of like a finished product to look at.
Because you keep changing.
So what I'll do now that I think that you've got them locked in of what you want, then I will get in touch with you, and we can go over yours and the changes I suggested and see how they mesh.
You have exactly what I have here. So just read the one you've got, and if you don't like it, you can tell me. So you just read the one that you've got in your packet. That's the final version. Bob has said that I did correct what he said, but you can read it over so you'll be ready for the next meeting. And we'll hold it over and we will.
Well, what I would do is, are you willing to discuss my suggestions and your new rules here?
Actually, I put in 90% of your suggestions I put in here. If you would read it, you would notice that they're all in here. I thought they were good suggestions and I added them already. They're in there.
Well, it doesn't, but to me it looks like, to me it feels like somewhat of a waste of time to read your rules because they keep changing every 4 days. So I wanted to get a final version before I read it, and I think we did finally get that Friday.
Yeah. I tried mailing it out to you last week too, but it is also in your packet. But if you would like to hold it over, that's no problem. We can go on with the rest of our business.
Okay.
So now we're going to talk about the small wireless facilities aesthetic design standards. This is something that Cheryl's been working on for a long, is this what you've been working on so long, Cheryl?
Well, no, this is what Bob suggested that we put in place first so we can have standards. And he copied this off of, was this Syracuse's, Bob, right?
It originated in Syracuse. City of
Yeah.
Binghamton also adopted them as well, and I know
Right.
there's a couple other municipalities that are looking at them right now.
Nice.
Right, this is something that we wanted to put in place before we sit down and we start talking contracts with AT&T and Verizon. This gives them guidelines that they have to follow and go by, for the poles. Like they have to be aesthetically pleasing. They have to blend into the poles. They can't stick out. They can only be so tall. They have to be mounted at a certain height as to not to be 8 feet above grade, so as to not to have people vandalize them in that. And also in here is about when it comes time for the electricity and conduit and all that stuff too, that's in here, that we had talked about before, that they would take care of and pay. So it's all in here.
Nice job, Cheryl.
Excellent.
Well, Bob did a lot of it. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
Very good.
Did you say Binghamton has accepted these?
Yes.
Have they installed anything that
Um,
that we could look at and see what's going on, or not?
I don't know if they've installed things in Syracuse. I don't know if they've installed them in Binghamton. I think they have, but we do have some pictures that
Yeah.
were provided by Verizon that we could certainly forward to you.
Yeah, if you could do that. See.
Mhm.
And whereabouts in Syracuse? I'm up that way. Take a drive by.
I think the photos had addresses on them. I'll double check that.
Okay. Thanks.
Probably Fayetteville.
Pamela?
All right, then do we want to adopt this tonight?
I make a motion to adopt the small cell wireless facilities aesthetic design standards.
I'll second that, Cheryl.
Okay, do a roll call. Trustee Connectney?
Yes.
Trustee Dorner?
Yes.
Trustee Warner?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, and Trustee Chapman?
Yes.
Being into the 21st century.
Okay.
All right, now Ted, the next two items are yours, so you can take over.
Yeah, I've actually got 3 items on this under new business. One is that the way the process works currently, the board members have to get everything into Janice by noon on Friday for her to make the agenda. And so the agenda deadline, let's say, is 12 noon on Friday. Usually she gets the agenda done between 12 and 4, let's say, and puts it in our mailbox. The problem is the speakers who want to talk at the meeting have to email in their topics before 12 o'clock noon. So they don't have a chance to see what's on the agenda, to see if there's something there that they want to talk about. And so the idea I came up with was that we continue having the agenda get done at 12 noon by Janice, which would be no extra work for her. It's just what she does anyway. The agenda would go on to the website between 12 and 5 o'clock whenever she gets it done, which is what she does anyway. Or I guess maybe Anthony does that, but that's no extra work because that's what gets done anyway. We give the public until the end of the day Sunday to mail in their topics. That gives them a chance to see the agenda when it gets online, and then they can decide if they want to talk about something that's on the agenda. And then Alicia, Monday morning, puts their name on the list of who's going to be speaking and emails it to us, which is no added work for her. I guess she's the one who makes that list, or whoever doesn't make the list. That would not be any extra work for them, which I think that would make everybody happy all the way around. Nobody does extra work, and everyone would get to see what's on the agenda, and then they can make their choice of what topics they want to talk about.
She does a preliminary agenda that she sends out usually around Tuesday, Wednesday.
She does what on Wednesday?
About 90% of it.
She does what on Wednesday?
She usually, if she mails, I don't know if she puts it online, but I do know that she mails us a preliminary agenda like Tuesday or Wednesday as trustees?
Well, the agenda we got, we have a deadline of noon Friday where we can add things to the agenda. And then I don't know when I don't know if she puts it on the website or Anthony or who does that, but in effect, we really have what we would call a final product by noon on Friday. So that's really what the public should see, an official document from the village, not something that's preliminary or tentative or half done with more to go.
Well, I think this is something we could think about, Ted. We could probably work out some kind of compromise. It would be, I really wish we could have people actually come into the boardroom, get handed an agenda, and then get up and speak. And with this COVID, I really don't know when the end is. So we'll give this some consideration, and maybe you and I can come to some kind of a fair compromise and help everybody out.
Do you have some ideas on this?
Anthony, do we used to give an agenda before, put the agenda online before when we had in-person board meetings?
What time did it go online? Do you remember?
I don't remember from the beginning of the year, no. I don't know if it went on the Friday before.
I think whatever we do, we need to,
I'm guessing.
This is the village government. I think whatever we do, we need to provide them with an official, quote, finished document. I know Linda's got some new rules where stuff can be added to the agenda after 12 noon on Friday, but at least we would all be looking at this as a final product at noon on Friday. And I think that's the type of document a municipality should put out to the public if we're going to put anything out.
And actually, a lot of municipalities are no longer allowing any hearing of visitors. So I think that we want.
Well, that's a different topic, but.
No, I'm still talking, Ted. So I think we do want a hearing of visitors. So I am willing to compromise with you and talk to you about this.
Okay.
So is that a change you want to make here today to the rules so it keeps getting pushed over because there are changes every week?
Well, since it's Zoom meetings, I don't think I need to add it to these meeting rules. I think we should add it to the Zoom rules because they're both different. I shouldn't have put the Zoom in here, but I did. The nice part is this is only going to be good until December 30th, 31st. That's all. This will only be good until then because January 1st, we decide to keep this or go with something else. So it depends on whatever the board is doing then, whoever's on the board will help make that decision. That's not going to be mine alone.
So right now, these rules say that the comments have to be submitted on noon on Friday.
But what we might do is get the agenda earlier for people.
Oh, okay.
And so we could always do that, and then we'd still have this all right.
That's nice.
So that's why I told them we'd sit down and compromise, give us some time to think about it, because we haven't really thought about it, but it is something to be thought about. So we will think about compromising.
Okay, and then my second topic is the one I brought up numerous times before, is that I think we should have 2 hearing of visitors like we've always had for 50 years, and Town of Union has them now, also still has them. And so I would like to make a motion that we go back to 2 hearing of visitors. So I'm looking for somebody to second it.
I'll second.
Roll call, please,
Okay.
Mr. Bates.
So roll call on that motion. Trustee Konechny?
No.
Trustee Dorner?
Yes.
Trustee Warner?
Yes.
Trustee Chapman?
No, not for Zoom. In person maybe, but not for, yes, but
That's what
for,
I'm thinking, in person. Right.
in person's
Yeah, Mayor.
different, but not for Zoom. It just takes too
Right.
long.
Mayor Jackson?
No, not for Zoom. Next, Ted?
And then the last item I had was the in-person meetings that Town of Union has done. Like you and I think Linda and Cheryl went to an in-person meeting at the visitor center with all the town supervisors and all the village officials that wanted to go. I guess there was 14 of them there. this past
Yeah,
week sometime.
that was before the second outbreak, Ted.
Let me finish my comments. So I think other places are doing it. It's not a question of all or nothing. Everyone has to be there or nobody's there. If we open it up to in-person meetings, we talked about having first come, first serve. 6 people could be there. And the ones who want to be there, that's fine. The ones who don't want to be there, fine. And the same for the board members. If they want to be there in person, fine. If they want to be on Zoom, that's fine. Everybody gets to choose. And so I would make a motion that we change over to in-person meetings starting October 19th.
My funny question is this: what if we all decide to stay home? Who's going to be here to let somebody in? We were discussing earlier today, after talking to Jason Garner and the governor's office, that we may all stay home and do Zoom from our houses. If we're all at Zoom, there won't be anybody here at the village building to let anybody in.
Well, yeah, that would be the situation. We can't do anything about it. And if everybody did that, then everybody would be on Zoom, including us and including the public. So that's possible that could happen. So I would be looking for a second on my motion to go to in-person meetings starting at the next meeting on October 19th.
You better call Jason yourself, right? And you better call Jason Garner and tell him. After I heard him today, holy cow, was he mad.
So I'd be looking for a second on the motion.
I'll take a vote, I'll second it, okay?
Okay, a motion and second. Roll call, trustee Konechny?
No, I'm uncertain given the pandemic.
That's right.
Trustee Dorner?
Yes.
Trustee Werner?
Yes.
Trustee Chapman?
I have to say no, not after listening to what the governor's office had to say today and Jason Gardner had to say today. They're also talking about possible, if this continues, shutting down again, and we just can't afford that.
So what's the vote? What's the vote count, Anthony?
It's 2-2 right now.
No,
And then Mayor Jackson?
no. After talking to Jason Garner today, I'm not crossing that man.
Okay, so we can move on to, I guess we have an executive session tonight.
Yep.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We need a motion.
I make a motion to go into executive session, please.
Anthony, do I call you or you call me, or what do we do?
I'm gonna call you, and I'll call Cheryl as well. We'll try to get everyone on speakerphone here.
So I just
Yeah, do this.
Take the ground. So it would be to discuss the employment history of a particular person.
Right.
Is that
Yes.
Yeah.
Personnel issue.
Do we have any idea how long this one will be?
Hoping 10 minutes.
We're hoping.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
How long are you going to talk, Ted?
Ted,
I hope I don't talk at all.
You want me to call you back at what number?
The one I'm here, 9427.
Okay.
Okay.
I need a second for the.
I'll second that.
No, you made a motion.
You made the motion.
I'll
so
second
okay.
it.
Okay. Is that all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna pause the Zoom meeting here, and we'll jump back on when we're done.
Thank you so much.
Hold on, let me.
Can I ask Brian one quick?
Can you hear me? Anthony, you gotta unmute.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Okay. And we're waiting for Ted to call in.
Remember when
Here he is.
cellular phones came?
Okay, he's coming in.
Big thing. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Like the Zoom. Can you hear me now?
I'm
Commercial.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
at that stage.
I'm surprised nobody's taken that and run yet.
They gotta switch companies.
Yeah, right.
Can you imagine that?
Ted's just got to unmute. Okay. All right, Ted, you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Cheryl's there.
Okay, we were in executive session to have two personnel things that we were thinking about. We have a retired worker from, works in the office at our fire department and our street department, and we need to bring her back for a couple of weeks for training and another couple of weeks for, our reports that we need to have done. Does anybody else want to explain anything else?
Just annual.
Just annual. And so we would like to bring her back for 4 weeks altogether, as an independent contractor with no benefits, and her pay will be $25 an hour. So does someone want to make a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to accept that.
And Bob
I'll
is
second.
working it out.
We had
What's the name?
said,
We just said it was-
160 hours, is that the
Yeah.
max you wanted to put on it?
Right.
Up to 160 hours. Yeah.
Just being a stickler again.
No, but that's good. I figured he wrote it out, so it would be.
Yeah,
Did you make the motion?
I did.
All right, need a
And Cheryl seconded
Cheryl
it.
second?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, do a roll call. Trustee Connect?
Yes.
Trustee Dorner?
Yes.
Trustee Warner?
Ted,
We lose Ted?
Okay.
we're gonna delay.
Huh?
Have to do that again. Cheryl, you're there, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
I think we lost Ted.
I don't see his number on there.
Yeah, his number's there.
Oh, yeah, there it
Now
is.
what?
It's there.
Anthony's calling him too.
I'll call
You're
him.
gonna blow his phone up.
Well, his name's
He's
there,
got
but
on
his
mute.
phone has to. You texting him?
You know who else has a flip phone? Kyle.
I get made fun of so much.
I need to
You were trying to mute or you back on? It hung up on you.
Oh, it did?
You might wanna call back or something.
Just have, yeah, you can call back in.
Yeah. It's like we're at a time delay. Ask him, is it?
You and Kyle will have big laughs over that.
I didn't even broke. I had to get some cement. They cemented it.
I hear you can knit those things back together.
No,
I threatened him I was gonna buy him an iPhone for his
I used the cement I used for my, bases for my umbrellas, and they work pretty good.
Love it.
I'm cheap.
No wonder you two coached together and got along well.
Alright. Here he comes.
Kyle's not only cheap, but he can't see.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's awful.
Okay.
There.
Okay, I'm in, Anthony.
All right, we got you. Okay. Why don't we start over with that, just to get it? I don't know what you heard, Ted.
Nothing, because the whole thing,
Okay.
it hung up on me.
Okay. You want me to?
So I made a motion to take back the lady from the fire department
Marcia,
for 160
60 hours.
hours at $25 an hour, and thank her for that, to help us out with the new people who are taking her position in the next year.
Okay. And I had Cheryl second that
Seconded
motion.
it. Now you're gonna do roll.
So we'll do a roll call.
That was up to 150. It was up to something,
100.
right?
160 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. A roll call. Trustee Connectney?
Yes.
Trustee Dorner?
Yes.
Trustee Warner?
Yes.
And Trustee Chapman?
Yes.
Okay.
And thank her
Yes.
for that.
Okay, and the second one is, we have a man who works in our water department. He is the distribution foreman. He has been there for 3 years now. When he came, he was supposed to be making the same as our department water supervisor makes. However, he needed to have a couple of licenses, which he now has. So we would like to raise his rate to be the same as his counterpart. He does an excellent job. He was very helpful to us when we had COVID. He jumped right in and offered all his men to help on the back of a garbage truck because we couldn't bring in labor ready during COVID. And I think that was, in fact, he offered to also be on the back of a garbage truck. The man is a very, very much so a team player. And so I do believe that, I think we all agree that we should give him this raise.
I make a motion to give him the amount that we promised him
Well,
after receiving his
we got to put
qualifications.
the number in there.
You want me to read
That's-
what I've got?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna let Bob read the motion.
Yeah, read it.
Yeah, okay.
A motion to authorize a pay increase to the distribution foreman in the amount of $80,667.48, effective October 5th, 2020.
That's Eileen's motion.
Yep.
I'll
Now-
second it.
Okay,
Thank
Uh,
you.
very good.
Do a roll call. Trustee Connectney?
Yes.
Trustee Dorner?
Yes.
Trustee Warner?
Yes.
Trustee Chapman?
Yes, so that will be his salary now. It's not,
Right.
we're not increasing that amount.
And
That's
that's,
just gonna be his salary.
Right.
Bob, did you have an effective date in the motion?
Oh, that's
Yes.
Yes, effective October 5th.
Okay.
nice.
All right, now we're just coming to board member comments. Do you have anything you would like to add, Trustee Connectney?
No, that's fine.
How about you, Trustee Warner? Or, I'm sorry, Warner.
Yes, I had two things. People have been emailing me
Wait
for.
a second, I wanted to give, I've earned that. Let Pat go
Take a while, I
first.
might as well let him go.
Let Pat go first.
Fun, it's only
I'm-
9:15.
I'm fine.
But Cheryl, do you have anything you'd like to say?
No,
Okay, then Trustee Warner, it's all yours.
Yeah. I had two things that people have been emailing me about for 2 months. One is the trees on Clark Street there that are all dead. I see they've started cutting them down, but they're cutting them down at the rate of about one every 3 or 4 days. So they'll never get it done before winter. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, as far as I know, they had trouble getting somebody. The first guy who was supposed to cut them up didn't show up, so they were having trouble getting someone to do it. So I think he's having trouble with scheduling.
Can we call them and find out what's going
Sure.
on? I mean,
Yes.
doing this for week after week after week, and then it's winter time, and then it's over with. You know, then we gotta wait till there's a lot of people are upset with that whole thing. Then the second thing is that is even way more serious is that building, which is a very huge safety danger to us. They've got the people have to walk by that in the street, and I didn't even know if that's far enough away to make it safe for them when the stuff falls off that building. And I talked to Brian Botsford maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago, and he said that they said they would, or immediately they went out and fixed 3 sides, and they were going to work on the 4th, the bad side. But I don't see where they've done anything on the other 3 sides. And the bad side, which is the possible lawsuit side, is really bad, and there's been nothing done. And it's been that way for I don't know how long. You probably know, Linda, how long they put those.
Oh, yeah, because I'm right. Well, I have an update. Building number 18, it was 38, is on the corner of Oak Hill and Clark Street, and it had chunks of cement that fell off, and they took out a crosswalk sign in April. Our street department and the code put up the barricades to prevent people from walking on that sidewalk on the Oak Hill side. Now, Huron got a lift and repaired the cement on 3 sides of the building, but here's the problem with the 4th side of the building. They have to put a lift up to put the cement up there. The high tension wires, power lines are right there, and they belong to NYSEG. And NYSEG is giving them a hard time about getting around to going over to do it. I guess they've all been after NYSEG. And because they're a utility, it's very hard to threaten them with anything. So we're waiting until NYSEG finally decides to get around to telling them, yes, they'll go over and help them with the high power lines. So Brian has been after NYSEG, but I don't think they even have to listen to him, to be honest with you. So that's where they are. 3 sides are done, but that last side is not.
They're opening themselves up for a lawsuit if they're stalling us and making us not do anything.
That's true, because it's been in writing, so you're absolutely right. They are opening themselves up, because it's a dangerous situation. I mean, if one of those chunks already took out a crosswalk sign, what are you going to do to people that are walking around there? No, it's dangerous.
Like Pat says earlier, I'm not doing this on purpose to be political, but I know of 2 people in town that were given a citation 2 months ago for signs in their lawns, and they were threatened with $1,000 a day for a fine. Now, if that can be a fine for that, why can't we have citations and fines for this thing?
They were taken to court, Ted.
Were they?
They were taken to court?
Huron was taken to court. That's why he's working with them to get it fixed. That was the remedy.
What was the remedy?
Was for them to fix it. And that's what they started to do until they got this issue with the power lines.
Can we call NYSEG?
She just said Brian is working with them to help with NYSEG.
But I mean, if Linda, if you called NYSEG, that would carry a little bit more weight, I would think. This is a lawsuit issue in that place, and not only that, people are complaining for months, 2 months on this.
Since April, probably, because that's when it started falling. So I can imagine it's been a while. Yeah. I talked to Brian earlier today, and I can talk to him again tomorrow and see what exactly avenues he's working on first, so that we're not both doing the same thing at the same time.
Yeah, and if he's not talking to NYSEG, my suggestion is that maybe you can give him a call.
Oh, that's true. Maybe I can do that.
You know, they don't always have to use a lift. They could use their painting scaffolds and get up there if there was a way to.
I just don't know how close the wires are to where they're going to be. That's cementing it. I don't know.
Pretty tall, but I mean, there's a way.
Yeah.
You know, St. Patrick's Cathedral saw their scaffolding, and
there's a way to do anything, and maybe Huron's going to have to pay NYSEG for whatever they might have to do, but just to sit and let this thing rot away while people walk down the street there, that's really it's going to make us look irresponsible if we don't really get on top of it fast. When I talked to Brian, this was 6 weeks ago, and that was the same story then, that we're working on it.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, we all set?
Yeah.
All right, then Eileen.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And it's not even 3:30.
Wow, we're
Yay! That's a get out of jail card if I ever had.
10:15.
Oh.
That's it, friends. That's the big show. It looks like. Bam, that's done. Okay. Bye Zoom. All right, friends, I don't know what else to say. We had the one thing I wanted to mention was the thing they're calling small cell towers. That's 5G or small cell boosters. You know, forgive me. Probably got COVID. You know, it's just like recycling facility. Recycling facility is to the Sunjeel Incinerator what small cell boosters is to 5G. They came up with a PR name for it. And so that's it. It's a public relations scheme. It's a public relations program to call 5G something other than 5G, because they know when people hear 5G, they're like, 5G. They want to stop it. So that's one thing. The other thing was great job, Ted Warner, as always, pushing back on the trying to restructure how the permission to speak at the meetings is done. That was excellent. And trying to get 2 hearings of visitors. He's still trying to get that. And consistently, it's a voting block. It's the 3 ladies, the 2 Democrats and the 1 Republican mayor, Linda Jackson. But it's Cheryl Chapman and Eileen Konechny. They all vote together as a block. And it's just amazing, you know. I've always been lefty liberal my whole life. I can't say that though, because I started out my first presidential election. I voted for Ross Perot. He's pretty conservative, and I first was drawn to the Libertarian Party. I identified as libertarian for a couple of years, and then I was in the 1990s, maybe the mid to late 1990s. I started hanging around the Libertarians in I would say throughout the 1990s in Texas and then in Illinois. But anyway, and then I became a Green Party. But it's just really odd to see this local small village politics unfolding. I'm trying to remember what the other one was. So, the most interesting thing was about the Endicott battery recycling facility, the incinerator, is that they're trying to, I don't know, I just learned about this, it was just today, but they are, they're trying to change it to be an SP, not a P, but an SP in the zoning code. So that's good. That's actually a good thing. Should I put up a graphic of what I'm talking about so that you can kind of see something? So let me turn it on first of all. And I'm going to say 1 was great job, Ted Warner. As always pushing back. I better get rid of this one. Great job, Ted Warner, as always. And then the next one was, because he was asking for a couple of different things, just having to do with how the meetings are structured. And Ted's got a really good understanding of rules of procedure, parliamentary procedure, even though they're just making up their own rules, it sounds like. But Ted's really good at trying to stick to good procedures, because otherwise it would just be all over the place. So good job, Ted Warner. Republican. Just got to say, most of my friends are Democrats. I've always, for the last, 20 years at least, I've identified as green or lefty or Democrat. At least 20 years, longer really. But, so it's just odd to see, I'm seeing better performance generally from the Republicans right now on how can you characterize it? They are pushing back against toxic industry. Ted was really going after them about, so should we list what Ted's doing? Ted was talking about the meeting structure, talking about the last thing he was talking about was the building 38. It's just falling apart, and the trees. So here, and then the other thing was they were trying to get. It was either I'm not sure who the sponsor of this thing was, but there was this so special permit for recycling facilities. That's got to be a TED or a Pat Dorner. That was excellent, and I'm really so I think that what happened was, I'm trying to remember, I think they tabled it, and it's just such gobbledygook. You know, Linda Jackson and Cheryl Chapman are talking about adding restrictions. And remember back when they were, I gotta write that down. This is really a different topic, right? So this should be a 2. I just so I guess that shouldn't be a new topic. I got to make that part of the recycling facilities as a special permit, because they, you know, first of all, it was really good that we finally they fleshed it out. Remember on September 20, what was the date of the last meeting? It's in September. Was September 28, right? Was it 28? 7, maybe 21. September 21, when they failed, they pulled the switcheroo. The 3 ladies pulled the switcheroo, and they failed to rescind the special restrictions on recycling facilities law, which is such, it's like, I say it that way because that's the way they say it, but it's a psyop. It wasn't special restrictions. It was removing the express prohibition on recycling facilities in the Endicott Village Code, which was there prior to May 7th. I'll say that again, prior to May 7th, there was an express prohibition on recycling facilities in the Endicott Village Code. So to put the Sunjeel, I want to make that very clear. I said recycling facilities. I meant to say incinerator. Recycling facilities is the PSYOP word, okay? And it's just like small, that's what I wanted to add about small. This is an important point. This is really an important. Small cell booster is to 5G what so do you understand what I'm saying there? What I'm saying is that small cell boosters is a PSYOP word. So let's get back to where I was. I just wanted to put that down there. So they didn't pass the legislation today against the wishes of their attorney, the recommendations of the attorney, Bob McCurtich. Kudos to Bob McCurtich. I had some questions about, some of the stuff you were doing earlier, but there's been the February letter was great. I'm seeing you doing a good job. You're really trying to follow the law. You're not taking sides. So I appreciate the work of Endicott Village Attorney Bob McCurtich. But so somebody, Ted Warner or Pat Dorner, one of the two, I'm thinking Ted, they wanted to change the zoning law change that they failed to rescind in September. It was originally passed May 7th, 5/7, to make quote-unquote recycling facilities a permitted use. It's a P. If you look at the Endicott zoning, the code, it's a P, which means no. What I'm hearing from No Burn Broom's attorney is that the P means no further review. It means that it doesn't go for a site plan review to the planning board. It's just rock and roll, baby. So we could see we are in a very dangerous situation right now. I need to start a different. Oh, you're not even seeing what I'm typing here. Okay, let's do this. All right. Sorry for the rough transition. So, all right. Now, this is a very important point. And I'm curious about, I don't even want to announce, there's something that's going on now or something that was, I'm looking for a report. If somebody's out there listening, there's a report I'm looking for of something that happened today or didn't happen or something that I don't know what. But, all right, so this is Sunjeel status. This wasn't part of the meeting. I'm just going to say this is critical. This is critical. Building. So we got zoning. We got first, what do we got? Permit. We got the permit. Okay. We got wish I had like a check mark. So we got the permit. Okay. The zoning change. Okay. And now building. So whoop, whoop, whoop. Red alert, red alert. Building permit is imminent. The building permit for the Sunjeel facility is imminent because everything is all lined up. Everything's already done. The DEC, the ASF, let me put that on there. The DEC. The Air State Facility permit, it's done. There's questions about the PFAS, but they're going to deal with it with permit conditions. They already told us that. So, I know No Burn Broom is pretty confident that PFAS is going to stall this thing, but I'm not so sure. I'm not so confident. So let's see. Ted Warner, meeting structure, building 38 falling apart. Talked about the trees, recycling facilities as a special permit. Maybe I shouldn't number this because this is just random at this point. There's no. Come on. There's no real. So what else? I'm trying to think of what else went on during the meeting that was just interesting. So the Sunjeel status is critical. So that's the other thing. We need people to start paying attention to you need to become aware of aware. Aware is going to be a thing coming up. And aware is, what is aware, Bill? Aware is a direct action group where people are going to basically put their bodies in the way of Sunjeel from doing their business because we got an illegal process from the DEC. The whole thing was illegal, and we were gaslighted by elected officials like Donna Lupardo and Jason Garner. Whoa, that was another thing. Linda Jackson said Jason Garner is freaking out, that he's getting really angry. She's like, I don't want to cross that guy. So Jason Garner is turning into little Hitler, little Nazi. He's taking power. He loves that power, and he's getting pissed off at people because people are pushing back on his draconian lockdown orders because it's bullshit. It's bullshit. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to do a live stream in half an hour, and we're going to talk about Jason Garner. I'm going to sign off for now, friends, because I don't know how many people are watching this, but we're going to come back on a little bit later tonight. So that's just a wrap up of the Endicott Village Board meeting tonight. This is, how do I always appreciate it when people subscribe to my channel, and if I get lots more subscribers. I posted some Debbie Lusignan videos, Sane Progressive, and suddenly I got like 60 new subscribers to my channel. Wow. So Debbie is still really current, even though the video that I posted was from 2 years ago. Debbie is, the ladies really dig Debbie. The guys dig Debbie. Debbie just has extremely broad appeal, and she has a powerful presentation, and it's a critical message, and it was just amazing to me. Go watch Revolution of the Mind on my channel, Revolution of the Mind. There's 2 different versions out there. Super critical, important information. Maybe I'm going to try to mix some of that in with what I'm going to do. I'm coming back on later tonight, friends. So stay tuned, and I'll talk to you later.